Hello, everyone. Hope you all are doing great. Welcome to today's session of Meet the Global Leader. It's the Impact Talk series organized by School of Entrepreneurship Development. It's a youth-led, non-funded organization that actually provide right information regarding skills development, knowledge development for our audience who are basically university-going students. So, in our session, we discuss about our speakers' professional journey of developing skills, how they implement skills in their professional career, so that students can understand the implementation of skills in different segments from different professionals across the world. So today we have invited Ms. Zlata. She is actually a young communications professional whose journey beautifully combines diplomacy, humanitarian storytelling, foreign policy, and youth leadership. She has built experience across international and humanitarian sectors through her work with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine and other communication based initiatives supporting social impact and advocacy. So, today we'll explore her journey from university life to international professional spaces, discussing leadership, career development, communication skills, resilience, and practical advice for students and young professionals as well, preparing for a rapidly changing world. Please join me in warmly welcoming Ms. Zlata. Zlata, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for attending this session and donating your time for sharing your lessons with the students of Bangladesh so that they can understand and how people work in different country in different sector. So if you want to share your story, you can start.
Yes, indeed. I believe this may surprise you that I have prepared some. It's a very small presentation, but I would like at least some images and some pieces of advice that I would like to share. I've built my speech so that it wouldn't be like a biography or some kind of stuff because well, first of all, I'm only 21 years old. If you want to read some great biographies of really great people that have achieved like some mind-blowing stuff, then please, you're free to see that. But I would like to be simple here, and I would like just to share 21 pieces of advice, like 21 pills that I needed to swallow in order to achieve what I've achieved and to live a life that I love. So, first of all, a little cat and with a little quote so that you would be a little more relaxed of hearing about my story. Uh, and then we'll switch to pill one. And according to these, like each piece of advice will have a little story that I'll tell about myself because I would not just portray myself as like a communication specialist. There are a little too many sides to myself. So I hope you'll be excited to hear about them. So, pill one is that the person you are today depends largely on the books you read, the people you see, the food you consume, and the habits you adopt. I mean, you're pretty much free to note to take a screenshot or just write it down on your piece of paper if you have any, or just to listen, because each and every piece of advice that I have here has something that is really close to me. So, generally, as a communication specialist, uh, I really invest in myself. I see myself as a great piece of investment that is really worth investing in. Uh, I enjoy uh, taking some free time to develop myself, not like every day, but every once in a while, like every week, I try to find something new for myself. For example, I'm fond of learning new languages. English, as far as you may guess, is not my mother language. My mother language is Ukrainian. So I've learned English to the C1 level, and I enjoy learning German and French languages. And potentially, I would like to switch some new ones. For example, some a bit harder to learn because, well, French and German are kind of similar to English. They are more similar than, say, Chinese or Korean or something. But anyway, the bottom line here is that you need to see yourself as a place to invest in. So the books you read right now, no matter what age you are, what race you are, where you live, the people you communicate, and even the food you consume, all makes a great part of you. So please read some books. I will have at least one book recommendation for you today. And I understand that during wartime, because, well, it's still war in Ukraine, I need to keep this place sane. Like, my mental state has to be sane. So I read a lot of books. I invest in sports. I go to the gym, and I don't do it because I'm the greatest of all. At least I try not to think so high of myself. But I do that so that my mental state would be relatively normal and I would be improving on myself every single day. So another part is that if you want to improve at anything, be it entrepreneurship, be it foreign languages, be it your career mostly, and even your family, the first step is tracking your progress. I would say that I have some experience in traveling abroad. So I was a participant of an exchange program called the Global Undergraduate Exchange Program. If you heard of that, if you heard of Fulbright, or if you heard of Flex, there is a part of there is another program which lets you as a student travel to the United States for a semester, for a trimester, to study there and to return to your country. So it's like educational and cultural program. I was the first Ukrainian woman to travel to the Citadel. It's like a military college in one of the states. And I would say that this, like the process of application, my language test scores, my communication during an interview, everything had to be tracked so that I would understand that I'm going through something. That's why I try to apply to a lot of opportunities. Apart from that, I'm not a student anymore, but it doesn't mean that I do not apply to anything because, well, I received my bachelor's, so that's it. But no, my undergraduate score. But it doesn't mean that I should stop applying to some opportunities. So I would suggest that you track your progress, no matter what is it, where is it. It's very important. Pill three. I think if you genuinely want something, the least you can do is ask for it. You either get it or you don't, meaning you either succeed or you build resilience. If you watched the Olympic Games this year, I mean, this winter, you could have seen the American, I'd say, she was a winner this year in not like roller skating, but I believe there was like this winter sport where she was a winner. Like the for the US, it was a great result. Her name is Alyssa Liu, if you heard her, and she said a great quote, which is like, "Nothing is really hard." Because, well, you have nothing to regret if you lose because there's nothing really hard for you. It's something you either know or either you don't know. So please reach out for more, ask for more, and do more really for yourself, because that is what happened to help me during my studies. I would say, yeah, it's a really grand name, like a global leader, but I really strive to be that because I believe that there are a lot of global leaders which would resonate with my goals. Like you have to ask for something in order to be leading someone or something. You really need to build resilience on losing, because the more you lose, the more you really know and gain experience around that. So I think that in order to lead, you have to understand that you need to fall several times at least to understand that you really need to lead. Pill number 4 is, I think, I'm not really great at statistics, but I really try to be. I'm a humanitarian mostly, so I really like foreign languages and stuff. So these numbers are not really precise. But I think that day-to-day problems, if you feel like overwhelmed, you feel anxious, maybe depressed, apart from seeing your doctor about that, it can be solved with a hard workout, a walk in nature, and a good night's sleep. As I've told you, you need to invest in yourself. I need to invest in myself. I need to repeat that to me as well. But nevertheless, whatever it is you do, whether it's your career or something, the free time that you have should not really be spent on TikTok or Instagram and like in doom scrolling. I have to tell you, I'm a social media manager, but it doesn't mean that I need to be a social media consumer all my free time. And it's still a hard pill for me to swallow. I still don't understand really uh, how to manage my time with social media, like how to have really strict boundaries with it. But I've helped with social media so many times with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, for example. I have some really great acquaintances there. I know how they work. I helped with youth diplomacy, with public diplomacy initiatives in Ukraine and in Europe as well. I have a great time in 2023. Wow, 3 years ago. But I had a great time in Strasbourg in European Parliament, where I could present some youth initiatives based on media, based on youth diplomacy. And, without that, without like a hard workout, without nature, and without really nice sleep, I could not really do it. It was really sometimes heartbreaking. Like, I needed to invest in a workout, like really heavy workouts, to do any other stuff. So please, it's underrated, unfortunately, but you really need to understand that, well, you're an investment both in career, in your relationship, if you have any, in your family, and in this sport. Another pill, which I really need to remind myself too, but you should always fill your own cup first before trying to put into someone else's. I would say that sometimes it applied to my studies because, well, you have your studies, your career as sometimes like your first priority, because as a student, as a young teenager, you want to go there, you want to hustle and to work as hard as you can. But sometimes when your own cup, like somewhere inside you, is empty, there is just no sense to be pouring out of it because it's just empty. I mean, you don't have any water. I'm sorry, just 1 second. Time to hydrate. So, you should always try filling your own cup first. And please see pill 4 for that, pill 2. I mean, you always need to invest in. I mean, if there's anything that you will remain with when you leave this conversation, is that you need to invest in yourself, because you can always forget my story, some stories of other leaders, but please remind yourself, and to become a global leader, you need to invest in yourself like one. So I hope this helps. Another one. And I know that there are maybe some really great scientists here or people that don't believe in it, but sometimes manifestation really helps. You need to set ambitions, being positive about tough challenges, and practicing self reaffirmation. And this time I will refer to the war in Ukraine, which is which has been for like 4 years now. And if there is a greater challenge than the war, I don't really think there is one, because uh, I know this might not resonate with you. This might be tough to hear because, of course, wars are not the easiest part to hear about, and I really understand that. I resonate with that. But if you ask a Ukrainian, he will talk a lot about that. Sometimes manifesting or just talking kindly to myself, what really helped, because when you talk about war, when you talk about humanitarian stuff, uh, you sometimes really need to hardly believe that whatever it is you're doing, it is going to end well, it is going to succeed, you are going to succeed. And it is great time for me to advertise my charity fund with which I'm working right now. It is called Children of Heroes. And we have imagine 16,000 people, like 16,000. It is roughly like the city of Monaco, if you know that. Like it's somewhere in Europe. It's like a country in a city, and it's 16,000. So, like, it's a town. 16,000 children whose parents have fallen during the war in Ukraine are under our fund. So it's a really great number in 4 years. And we are helping them. I am helping them as a communication specialist and as a social media specialist. And sometimes stories during that can be heard from these children, they're from like we care for children from like 1 day old to 19 years old, so 18 years old, and then they're graduates, so called. And when you hear about their stories, how they miss their parents because they are half orphans and orphans, sometimes it's really hard. You have to have some therapy sessions after that. You have to cry a lot. I cry a lot, and it's okay. I mean, uh, sometimes I really manifest that whatever I'm doing, it is going to succeed. Whatever campaign, whatever child I'm helping, it is going just simply to succeed. And I set ambitions based on that thought only. So even though if you don't don't uh, understand what I'm talking about, or if you don't decide not to believe in that, and that's okay. You just need to believe in whatever it is you are doing. You do not need to really believe that, like, manifesting, like, I have a candle here. I mean, it's some great source of energy for me. I love candles, like aromatic candles. It's great. But whatever it is, like whatever this ritual that you want to have around yourself, like candles, like a little prayer or anything, sometimes it really helps. It really helps the thing in your brain. So even if you don't try to believe in it, I mean, it's okay. So yeah, but you can have some little whimsies, rituals, whatever it is you're helping. Pill number 7, and it's something that I'm still learning. There are 4 quarters in a day, like every day. Every day is equal to everyone, like morning, midday, afternoon, evening. I divide, a, even if I have a bad morning, sometimes I really do have a bad morning. Like, we are being shelled, guys. We're being shelled by rockets and missiles and everything. Sometimes I can really have a bad morning here. And if you have if you can hear a small sound, like there is an air alert right here, but I'm relatively safe, guys. It's okay. Uh, Even if I have a bad morning because of something that I can't control, I divide my day into mornings, middays, afternoons, evenings. And then I try to work it out of that. The next one, another method. I think methods are something that work, they really work on people. So please write that down. Use the first like 90 minutes of your day, so an hour and a half, for 90 days towards your one main focus. I know that some young entrepreneurs, some young students have a hard time with their interruptions, with their excuses, and you have some big goals to smash. Like you have your own startup that you want to launch. You have a partner that you want to have a relationship with. You have a gym that you want to work out. You want to become like strong and everything and resilient. There are a lot of excuses. You can make up like thousands of excuses, but as a young specialist in my field, I like what I'm doing, but I still have a lot of excuses. So I try to have like my 90 days and to dedicate every 90 minutes of my morning towards that one goal, be it foreign languages, be it any great habit that I have. Life is really imbalanced, people, by its nature, and that's okay. So there are a lot of drawbacks to our work, to our ambitions sometimes. Uh, Even though we try to stay really positive around our goals, there are still some negative sides. There are still some problems that we want to overcome, and sometimes we cannot overcome them. We don't have control over some things. In wartime, it's becoming 3x more like difficult, uh, and you need to be even more resilient. But if you live in peacetime, please appreciate that. And please remember that life is still imbalanced. We want to, like, in this time of social media, we have this perfect picture, even though it's not as perfect as it was before. But we need to understand that overcoming imbalances is much more helpful than trying to find balance within like everything. We need to stop trying to have these equal 8 sectors of our lives filled, like our cup filled all the time, because I tried that, guys. And it really didn't work because you cannot have all 8, all 12 sectors of your life like really covered. I tried to have my career, my part-time works, my relationship, my family, my like figure, like my gym and everything. I tried to have that, and it didn't really work out because I was just burnt out. And uh, I will have a piece of advice about money, but money isn't all that. And even though I had some amount of money that I've saved up, it all went to therapy. So life is imbalanced, and if you have some imbalances, I'm really sorry if you're going through a hard time right now, because we all sometimes are, but you really deserve to be kind to yourself. Uh, it's all okay, and I hope you will overcome it. Bill 10. Yeah, that's another one. Money should never be the goal. I know we all try to become really rich. When I was like 18, 19, 20, I thought that I need to become this 18-year-old millionaire. And then 21, I need to become a billionaire. There is nothing that I cannot do. Well, at least that's right. Yeah, but for true fulfillment, money is not enough. You can have a great job even though it doesn't really make a lot of money. You don't really make a lot of money from it. But please prioritize a journey which is healthy, which is sustainable to yourself, which is continuous. So you have your own ladder and you climb it. And you try to be kind to yourself throughout like the most time. I'll tell you a story about that. That I was really hustling 2 jobs. They were part time, but together they made a full time job. And I was going through my fourth year of my undergraduate degree, like my bachelor's degree, and it was a mess. I was a mess, and it was a year ago. So I really needed to have my academic gap. I really needed to work on my skills, on my soft skills, in the majority, and I needed to get back to what I loved. And I didn't really care about money anyway. And that's where I met a charity fund which resonated with my values. And now I would say that I'm happy with what I'm going through, even though in wartime it's not really easy to say that you're happy all the time. But I try to be, I really try. And that's why there is another pill that which is disconnecting regularly. I mean, I try to go without this thing that I'm talking through to you guys. I try to walk like without tech free every day. Sometimes it can be really hard, but for my working calls, like I had a work call before you guys, and I will have another one after you. I try to go through all of that in nature. And I'd say that sometimes I saw in the United States that it's okay for children and teenagers to have their lessons outside. So I think that's really helpful when you can touch some grass and you can learn something that's absolutely marvelous. And the next one, being different, being weird, being quirky, being anything other than the majority is your superpower. Trying to blend in with whatever it is trendy, whatever it is great, uh, connected with your career. You do not need to blend in order to be successful, because, well, the essence of success is really different for everyone. Uh, I'd say that my vision of myself changed a lot, but now I'm reconnecting with what I wanted myself to be. Like, for example, these braids. I thought I had a really bad morning because of like everything, because, well, you can be really busy and you can forget about eating, you can forget about hydrating and stuff. And then I decided to put some braids to like be some like to look a bit different, and then it worked. It just sparked something in me. So being different, trying different, like having a different startup is really your superpower. So I suggest you really use it, because I would not say it's really pleasant when you're like everyone, because, well, sometimes you're really united, but other than that, doesn't work your way. Another rule. I know you may be tired a bit from those rules, but I promise this is what I'm doing. You can write down 25 goals and circle the most important five out of them. And you really start working on them, because when you start like rebranding yourself, I promise you, as a social media creator and a specialist, I hear every year there are some content creators who say, rebrand yourself this year, make a new version of yourself, reach your highest potential. I promise you, if you work on 25 goals at the same time or more, it's really distracting. Even 10 goals, sometimes it's too much. And they can be part of your main five goals. So if you want to become more healthy, if you want to invest in your career, in yourself, please like circle only five goals mostly and just work on them. Because when I was in the United States for this exchange that I had, I needed to. I was really inspired by my tutors, by my professors, and I thought to myself, well, that is their highest version. I need to become that, like in 2 months, for example, or in a month. Uh, I'll be closer to them. I'll be almost like them. And I wrote myself like 30 goals to work on at the same time, and I promise you, not working at all. So I'd suggest that, uh, and in part of being a global leader, you need to batch some time for your goals, like for your main three, five goals, one goal, and just continue doing the work, continue delaying the procrastination or something. And also, you don't always have to see everything through, because you might be on a job that you don't like. You might watch a movie afterwards, or read a book, or start a business that you don't really like afterwards. Please learn when it's best to quit, because if you don't learn how to quit or when to quit, you will connect yourself with people or with a mindset that will most likely destroy you. I would say that I was in that spiral. There is a TED talk that says that if you get positive, your spiral gets higher, and when you get negative, and you tell to your people that you're negative and all of that stuff, and you're toxic or something, the spiral gets lower. And I would not get an association with that, like what that means, because I would not be very neat about saying that. But learning when it's best to quit what you don't like uh, does not mean that if you're not good at something, you have to quit. You have to find a golden middle. I mean, in Ukrainian, we say find a golden middle in something. But please find like the middle in which you're not really quitting every time that your older boss tells you that there is a mistake that you made. Please don't quit after that, and please don't wait too long to quit. So you have to find that middle. This book is like a holy grail. As a creative person, uh, I really try to read a lot of books, a lot of fiction books as well. I read mostly Ukrainian books, so you wouldn't really hear about them. They're not really popular in Asia, in Southeast Asia mostly. We haven't really reached there yet. But this book is really great. I mean, The Creative Act: A Way of Being by Rick Rubin tells mostly about how to think and how to live as a creative person. I think not every one of you could tell about yourself that you're creative. I mean, from your point of view, I'm trying to think uh, like the audience that is watching me, and I think that most of you would tell that like you're not creative enough simply because we like to judge ourselves. But I think that being creative is like being a monk, like the monks that live in Nepal, for example. You either live like a monk or you don't. I mean, you can choose to not to live like that, but there are people who just quit their corporate life. I don't know a lot of people from Ukraine, but a lot of people from Europe, from the US, quit their really successful entrepreneurship journey and switch to being a monk. So really, that's getting more and more common. And I would say that living a creative life, just being mindful about what is around yourself, like I would switch to my background. Like there is a small sakura, if you can see that. There are some there are a lot of plants around me, and I would say that this is what helps. Uh, this is what really helps me with creativity and stuff. And please read this book, and please, if you decide to reach out to me, like I have my contacts, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram and everything. If you remember me, please drop a line, please tell me how that book was to you. That was so great. Even if you think you're not a creative person, read that book. It won't do any harm. And please consistently seek feedback, because growth, I mean, that's a great quote, growth compounds rapidly. Uh, we are social beings, but our social beings become so traumatized sometimes if we receive constructive feedback or even non constructive. I know sometimes there are people that are just, we get really angry after their feedback because uh, if you work around social media, for example, there is a lot of feedback eventually. When you work with words, with visuals, with anything that is connected to words, it sometimes it's really difficult because there is a lot of minor feedback. And keep it, I would say that it is really important because I was working on a lot of like thesis on research in the US, connecting to I'd say public policy and surveys, elections. I was really interested about American elections. Sorry. I was really interested in American public policy and American diplomacy. And I would say that I would receive a lot of feedback around that. And this feedback helped me write my own bachelor's thesis for my Ukrainian university. And I received an A+ for that. And without that feedback, I don't know if that note would be as high as I think. So uh, to finish it up a bit, I would like to be a bit more faster. Uh, there are some lists that I would like to de- to to suggest to you. Please create an anti to-do list if you have some bad habits or counterproductive thoughts. I mean, I can be a little more self-critical, so I made an anti to-do list to what not to say about myself when I feel a little bit more down. Then I create a yay list. Like, yay, if you track your success, if you track some wins for yourself, please make a yay list and read that when you feel like a little bit under the weather. Then there is a 1,000 rejections list. There is a girl called Gabriella Carr on TikTok, and she tells a lot about that. She's basically the 1,000 rejections girl. You can Google her, and please watch her. Please save it to yourself. This rejections list is like key. I really like it. I track it down myself. And also, I prioritize saying no to some things because, well, if you choose someone else's priority to be your own priority, your own actions will be sometimes like really weighing you down. So learn to say no if it's still a hard time for you. If it's not, then please, congratulations. You're like over 90% of people that I know, because in Ukraine there are a lot of workaholics. So if it resonates with you, don't be a workaholic. It's just really toxic to your mental well-being. And another quote that I'm working on, like this 21st pill, is that never allow waiting to become your habit. Please take risks. Please live your dreams, because your life is happening right now. When you're 80 and you're healthy and happy, you will not think about that one task that you did not say, or uh, uh, that one discussion where you needed your argument to be a little better. You will think about how you're healthy in your 80s. So please live your life right now. And there's a little bonus. There's a bunny. I really like bunnies, so please, like, need I say more? If you have any questions that you would like me really to answer, then please feel free. And that is all for my presentation. Yeah. I hope it wasn't really like weighing you down or anything, but yeah, that was my presentation.
Yeah, great. I mean, I was listening to it, and our audience, they also uh, are hooked, like into the session, because the way you have shared, it's like it's like a storytelling, like we used to listen when we were kid, regarding, like it's like you the imagination in our head. Just like we I have felt it. I hope our audience as well. And definitely there's one thing I must say in before we are about to, like end our session, because we're at the end of our session almost. um, you have mentioned very basic and simple things, like in your talk, in your session, regarding investing in itself. It's all about, say for example, me, all about this, thyself, because without if I'm not well mentally, physically, and like I cannot like spread positivity. At the same time, there is a very important thing. What you have done so far, what you want to achieve. Like you learn few languages, like four, right? And you know how to implement those and why you learn those. That's the important. You also mentioned that the organization you are working, this is your passion. I mean, you love working at, like you wanted to do something. This is important. I just want to connect it with, like most university students, they work for different this kind of volunteering activities without knowing what they really are doing, just for the sake of mentioning in their resume that I a member of this organization, I did this, I did those. Just like increase the number of in the list. So that's why it's very important where they're investing their time. That's very important to like do the homework before joining, or like before associating themselves with those organizations, with those work, because if they just like waste their time, which is very valuable to us, to all of us, they will regret later. So that's why like what you have mentioned, very simple, but like you experienced it, you learned it, the lessons, life lessons, those are. And definitely to our audience who have watched this session and who are going to watch, if you have any more questions, if you want to learn more about like Zlata, and if you have any specific questions, reach out to her through LinkedIn, you can send her email. And then we want this kind of collaboration, we want this to go beyond, like you learn, you connect. So this is what we want, because this we have a very time limitation, but we want our students, audience, to continue this communication with our speaker and learn, because you have already crossed that path. So from your lessons, they will definitely learn something new. So on behalf of School of Entrepreneurship Development, Zlata, thank you so much, like for your time that you have shared. Definitely, it's very simple and easy to follow. So for students, you can like start small, but in the journey we will learn in a bigger way. Thank you so much again for your time, and definitely we pray for Ukraine, and best wishes for you as well, Janta.
Thank you so much. Please stay safe and please be successful. I would like everyone to success here. So, yeah, you're going to do really great.
Definitely, thank you.
Yeah, goodbye.